I had to cut this video down a little bit shorter than normal. Originally I had 9 games picked out, but as I started playing them, I got really into them and I started running out of time. And then I was supposed to record this episode last night, but I ended up going back and playing all the way through one of the games. So to make sure I can release this Quest video on time, I decided to cut down on the number of games I played for this episode. With that being said, today we have 5 games that we'll be adding to the collection. Let's check them out. And the first game up is Congo Caper. Congo Caper was developed and published by Data East, jumping onto the Super Nintendo in 1993. Congo is hanging out with his chimp chick when some magic rubies fall out of the sky and change him and his girlfriend into half humans. But then a demon kid swoops in and takes her away, and you must go and rescue her. Congo Caper is a platforming game with 35 levels. You start off in a valley which has 5 stages. There are all kinds of secrets hidden in the levels for you to discover, and lots of items to collect. Collecting big diamonds will give you an extra life, as well as collecting 100 small diamonds. There are also sapphires which let you play a slot. You can earn a bonus level or extra lives with the slot machine. And you can also collect rubies. As a monkey, finding a ruby will change you into a Congo. Finding 3 rubies will change you into a Super Congo, which allows you to jump higher and float. If you get hit as a Super Congo, your ruby meter will go down. Once you run out of rubies, you turn back into a Congo. If you get hit as a Congo, you turn into a monkey, and if you get hit as a monkey, you die. Once you get through the valley and water level, you get to choose from 4 other worlds. The game is pretty easy overall, especially the bosses. Like this one, I just rolled in the corner the whole time and just waited for him to run into me. The controls are excellent. The only complaint is when you get hit you freeze for a second, but the rest of the stage doesn't. But that's only a minor complaint, and it's only an issue in a couple levels. The game has a lot of color and looks great, and the music is good as well. The gameplay is fun and easy, but that's a relief after recording the gameplay for the last episode. This is the game I ended up playing all the way through last night instead of recording this episode. Overall, I highly recommend Congo Caper if you're a fan of platforms. So far, it's one of my favorite games I've reviewed. Congo Caper is game number 69 for the collection, and I have $150 in trade for it. And at $150, that brings our total up to $14,924 for the Super Nintendo Complete Box Quest. And the next game up is Saturday Night Slam Masters. Saturday Night Slam Masters was developed and published by Capcom and slammed into stores in 1993. Slam Masters is a port of an arcade game of the same name. All in all, there are 10 characters in the game, including Mike Hager from Final Fight. Every character can kick, punch, and slam opponents, and each also has their own special attack and their own Super Slam technique. The special attacks and Super Slam techniques require different button combinations for each character. The graphics are cartoony, colorful, and well done. Even the crowd looks fantastic. I don't even think crowds were that detailed in N64 games. The music is heavy rock and complements the game well. The controls work great overall, although some of the button combinations for the special moves and slams take some time to get good at. The game has a 4-player option with a multi-tap, which I want to try when I get a chance. This game is fun, but it would be a blast with a group of friends. Another cool thing in the game is each character has their own entrance. Overall, Saturday Night Slam Masters is a fun game, and it's still worth playing today. Saturday Night Slam Masters is game number 70 for the collection, and I have $90 in trade for it. And at $90, that brings our total up to $15,014 for the collection. And one thing I want to mention real quick, if you follow me on Instagram, I've been taking pictures of these games and their contents and everything, and you can see how beautiful the condition is on some of these boxes and all the inserts and everything like that. It's really cool to see. So during these quest videos, I only show you the box and the gameplay. But if you follow me on Instagram at the_gamer_Wayne, you'll get a more detailed look at these games. And the next game up is Rock and Roll Racing, and this is another game I spent way too much time playing. Rock and Roll Racing was published by Interplay and raced into stores in 1993. Rock and Roll Racing is a vehicular combat racing game. It takes place in the far future where the best thing to do amongst different planets is race. You start the game off with 20,000, which allows you to buy one of 2 cars. There is a third car available, but you can't afford it. After you choose your car, you start racing. You race on a total of 5 planets, each with multiple races. In each race you earn money and points. The better you place, the more you earn of each. Finishing first will earn you 10,400 points, while finishing last will get you nothing. Money can be used to upgrade your vehicle. You can upgrade things like the engine, shocks, armor, wheels, and weapons. Every upgrade makes a big difference in the gameplay. The points are needed to advance. You'll race in 2 classes on each planet. If you don't earn enough points in the second class, you don't advance to the first. And if you don't earn enough points in the A class, you don't advance to the next planet. On each planet, all the tracks look the same, so it does make the gameplay somewhat repetitive, especially if you have to repeat a class. The controls are responsive and smooth, which makes the game enjoyable. The music is awesome with artists like Black Sabbath, Steppenwolf, and Deep Purple. However, there are only 5 to 6 tracks, so if you play the game for a while, it starts getting old hearing the same songs over and over. The announcer repeats the same lines throughout the game as well. All my complaints are minor ones. The game is a blast. I recommend playing this game if you're a fan of racing games. Rock and Roll Racing is game number 71 for the collection, and it cost me $144 shipped. And at $144, that brings our total up to $15,158 for the Super NES Complete in Box Quest. And the next game I ended up playing for a while too, not because it was a great game, just because I was trying to catch a fish. And that game is TNN Bass Tournament of Champions. TNN Bass Tournament of Champions was developed by GAPS and published by American Softworks. It was casted into stores in 1994. TNN is a fishing game. You can free fish or compete in a tournament. You have 6 lakes to choose from. You can also select one of 4 seasons and weather types. Before you fish, you can go to the pro shop and buy lures for the conditions you'll be fishing in. There are a ton to choose from. On the lake, you'll drive a boat around while watching your fish finder. Once you find a spot you want to fish, you hit the Y button to change to fishing mode and A to cast. From there you hit A to reel in and the directional buttons to finesse your lure. If the fish aren't biting, you can hit the select button to reel in quickly. Certain lures are for certain conditions, but it really doesn't seem to matter. You have to keep changing lures to find out what they want. Once you hook a fish, you hit the A button to fight it. I lost a couple fish before I got the hang of it, and hooking a fish takes a lot of time. It's like real fishing. You'll need patience to play the game. The visuals in the game look good. There's very little sound in the game with some waves crashing and some birds chirping, and the controls are good. I don't have a lot of patience for the game, but if you want a fishing game on the SNES that takes hours of your time, here you go. TNN Bass Tournament of Champions is game number 72 for the collection, and price charting has this game at $30. And at $30, that brings our total up to $15,188 for the library. And last but not least is Harley's Humongous Adventure. Harley's Humongous Adventure was developed by Visual Concepts and published by High Tech Expressions. It released for the SNES in 1993. Harley is a genius scientist that built a shrink machine. He accidentally shrinks himself with it and destroys the machine in the process. So he's got to run around looking for machine parts to repair his machine and return back to normal. I wonder if they were inspired by the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids that was released 3 years prior. Visually, the game looks plain, cheap, and not very good, but it's actually not a bad platformer. The devs had a lot of clever ideas. You can drive a tank, run on a soap bar to make bubbles, and then ride them, and even parachute. The enemies were bugs that were running all around the house before you were shrunk, so Harley probably didn't live very clean. The final boss is a rat throughout the game that mutates every time you battle him. The controls are really good with one small nuisance. You have to be stopped to turn around and fire your weapon. It can get really frustrating. The other thing that bothered me was getting new weapons. Whenever you get a new weapon, you automatically switch to it, and each weapon handles differently, so you could be expecting to throw a marble, but accidentally throw a firecracker instead, causing you to take damage. The music is okay and will get stuck in your head. The gameplay is decent, And the level designs are cool despite the plain graphics. If you're looking for a different kind of platformer on the SNES, Harley's Humongous Adventure is worth giving a shot. Harley's Humongous Adventure is game number 73 for the collection, and I have $50 in trade for it. And at $50, that brings our total up to $15,238 for the Super Nintendo Complete in Box library. Let's get these games on the shelf. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. I'm completing the entire Super NES library, complete in box, right here on this show. Also, make sure to leave a thumbs up for Congo's Caper. Until next time, I'm Gamer Wayne, and thanks for watching.